In 1982, a discovery apparently unrelated to the Michigan tablets was alleged to have been made by Russell Burroughs of Olney, Illinois. He claims to have found a cave in the southern part of his state, loaded with the treasures of foreign visitors who crossed the seas from the Near East, Europe, and Africa about 2,000 years ago. He claims the site is also a rich repository of stone records belonging to some unknown people who possessed a high level of culture. I have known Burroughs since 1993 and compiled a photographic library of 2,000 such stones. I personally examined about half of them and had concluded they are authentic artifacts. Although he refuses to divulge the location of his cave, the sheer number and sometimes fine workmanship of the artifacts he allegedly took from the site tend to support their identification as genuine artifacts. Even so, many of my fellow diffusionists have condemned the Burroughs cave finds as part of an elaborate hoax. Admittedly, the tangle of frustrating obstacles, legal and otherwise, preventing any kind of access to the location's whereabouts have disenchanted very many investigators. But the full story of Burroughs Cave, while yet to be told, is gradually unfolding with the gradual release of objects never before seen, and someday we may learn everything there is to know about this site. There may be a parallel here with the Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered in 1948. Even now, a complete accounting of this find has still not been disclosed to the public. Burroughs telephoned me 2 years ago to say that he had purposely withheld some inscribed stones from sale because of the imagery they featured, namely, identifiably Christian scenes, mostly Old Testament. Also, men anally engaging each other. Burroughs was uncomfortable with these items because he feared critics would use such obvious themes to further debunk his story. Burroughs knew some Indians had knowledge of Old World traditions and Old Testament tales. But what concerned him was, as he put it, the Jesus stones. At my request, he sent me photographs of them, and I was able to compare their images of evidently Old Testament themes with similar representations found on the infamous Michigan tablets, which have been proven to be modern forgeries, but we shall use them as reference anyway. I was astonished to notice that both sets not only featured scenes of Jesus Christ, but also the same mystic symbol. The same symbol appears in southern Illinois 62 years after the last published information concerning the Michigan mound builders using this identical mark. I was so amazed, the thought that these artifacts were all fake never crossed my mind. Approximately 20,000 to 30,000 Michigan artifacts were excavated from 1848 to the 1920s, compared with the 6,000 to 7,000 Burroughs cave stones of southern Illinois removed between 1982 and 1989. These fundamental facts render any possibility for either collection being a hoax extremely remote, if not impossible, at least in my mind. The predominant glyph found on the Burroughs cave objects is the famous Helios motif discovered, of course, by the world's finest epigrapher, Paul Shafrank. Even this important character is found in conjunction with the Michigan symbol to suggest some type of interaction between these two otherwise distinct groups. Maybe these glyphs have the same meaning. There appear to have been vital differences between these two groups of ancient Americans. Non-Christian imagery dominates the Burroughs cave stones. Still, there are legitimate doubts among our own diffusionist supporters concerning these Christ stones, due largely to some relatively minor variations in the placement of glyphs, together with the anomalous appearance of a particular symbol on the Michigan objects. Clearly, much work still needs to be done in any comparisons of these two diverse collections. But the evidence of the Michigan tablets and Burroughs cave stones suggests that some fundamentally important culture bearer visited our Western Hemisphere in pre-Columbian times. Was it actually the Christ? Or one of his disciples? Whatever his true identity, the arrival of this person left a deep impact on the tribal memories of Native Americans. Their Yod-Heh-Vah is remarkably similar to Jehovah, who seems to be portrayed throughout the Michigan tablets. Was the East Star Man and Peacemaker known to so many indigenous North American tribes really Jesus Christ? Perhaps the imminent translation of the Illinois and Michigan artifacts will answer that question.